Next up, the Fisherman questline. For this, you'll need to head across to the fishing village, which you'll locate somewhere on your map, and inside of it, at the first building, you'll find the Fisherman. Speaking to them, we can look for work, and they'll give us a fishing rod after we go and fetch an item for them. So, we'll get a location marked on our map. We simply need to head across there, and when we do, we'll find a red box like this. Interacting with it, we should find a fishing tackle and 1 foot of rope. Then we need to simply take this back. After heading back to the Fisherman, we can speak to them, hand in our item, and in return, they'll give us a fishing rod and we can keep the rope. Speaking to them, we can get a kayak as well. All we need to do is catch 3 fish and they'll let us have a kayak and paddle. So, using our fishing rod, we need to first equip some food as a lure. You can use practically any kind of food, but as you can see, we were given 15 grubs. So all we need to do is click the rod, then drag some food onto it, and just like that, we can use whatever key they say here, in my case, right mouse, to cast out the line and wait for a bite. So holding it down, and then left clicking to toss it out. All we need to do is wait for it to bob and then press our fire button. And there we go. All we need to do now is A and D to pull it in the opposite direction that it's heading, so it keeps roughly in the center of our screen, and using S to reel it in. Simply reeling it in will eventually be given a fish. Pretty simple. Now we can load it up and do it again. So we'll cast out, and using our movement keys, we can once again keep it near the center of our screen, but unfortunately, if you hold it too long without giving it a little bit, your rod will shake and eventually you'll lose the fish. That's a good example. So casting out once more, we need to reel it in, but as soon as our rod starts shaking violently, we'll let go of the pull button to give it a bit of leeway. As such, then we can pull it the rest of the way in, and we've caught our second fish. Now for our third, casting out once more, we can now reel in our third fish, and there we go. Now all you do is return to the Fisherman, and speaking to them once more, they'll give us a boat. So checking your inventory, you should see not only the fish that you collected, but also the grub, your fishing rod, 1 foot of rope, and the kayak and paddle. Awesome. Speaking to the Fisherman one more time, we'll be given a quest to go get some scrap, accepting it. And all you need to do now is collect 100 crude oil and return to be rewarded with 100 scrap. All we need to do now is place our kayak in the water, but unfortunately you will need to move away from the fishing village. Just keep in mind that on the map, a location should be marked. That's what counts as out to sea. So placing our boat relatively close by, we'll hop in it and use our paddle to get out to sea. You can use the primary and secondary fire buttons, or of course your left and right movement keys or buttons in order to travel out to sea. Just make sure to alternate between them, otherwise you'll be heading around in circles. All we need to do now is navigate to the marker on our map in order for the first part of the mission to complete, which is head out to sea. As soon as we reach this point on the map, our first bit of the mission will be complete. Now all we need to do is navigate out until we find these little floating bits of wood with barrels on them. What we need to do is collect 100 crude oil, and in return we'll be given 100 scrap when we hand it in. So heading all the way out and making our way onto the platforms, we can destroy some barrels and get some loot in return. So 1, followed by these fuel barrels, which should drop anywhere between 16 and 20 crude oil, as well as any other barrels should count 2. So in total, you'll need to destroy 5, 6, maybe 7 of these oil barrels in order to collect all the oil that you need. Just keep in mind, once all the loot has been taken off one of these little platforms, they'll eventually sink into the ocean after a few seconds. There we go. So we've destroyed the required number of barrels, but we don't yet have enough crude oil, so you can either collect more in the ocean, or of course, through other means. I only have 82, so I'll grab maybe 1 more, and then we'll head all the way back. Over the course of collecting 100 crude oil, I've already collected 34 scrap, 5 pipes, a couple metal blades, and some miscellaneous gear. Of course, what you get from this will vary, as the loot is pretty random. Heading all the way back to the fishing village, we can speak to the same person once more, and just like that, we'll be given 100 scrap in return, taking my total up to 134 just by completing this mission, even though you're only technically given 100 from it. Anyways, that's really about it for this quick guide, so thank you for watching. My name's been Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.